Game Breaker TV.
You are watching the first and longest running new media broadcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Welcome to Game Breakers The Republic. You will never need to listen to any other Old Republic podcast ever again. Oh, who were they kidding? They're just a bunch of nerds geeking out about the Old Republic on the internet. But here's your host. Don't get cocky. It's Larry Everett.
Really loud. Hey everybody, this is Larry Everett, and you are watching The Republic on Game Breaker TV. And today is, what is today? Today is the 19th of March 2015, and you are watching the 203rd episode of The Republic. And today we are talking about the Season 4 rewards. We also have some other PvP news about cheating we'd like to talk about, and also the Community Cantina live stream is happening really soon, so we want to talk about that as well. But first, let me introduce my co-hosts. First off, we have from his Twitch stream on twitch.tv/R3DN4, it's Redna. How's it going, Red? You're muted.
Hey, how are you?
We're doing good. And of course, I also have from Krillian Run and also from Pretty Little Sith, it's Heather. How's it going?
Good. I remember to unmute my microphone after the intro.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, it's like unlike some other people. And you also came.
It's so unprofessional.
I know, right?
Hey, I was just watching episode 200, and I want to be like SWTOR economics. So what can I
say? and Heather also came prepared with her lightsaber as well, which we can see.
Yay!
The pink lightsaber. So, what do we got today? We have some Season 4 rewards, which is this is a change from the past rewards, slightly, because they're doing they've got different rewards for teams and they got different rewards for individuals, and it is I'm gonna put this up on the screen here real quick so we can see it. If I can figure out how to do this. Let's put this over here. And sorry everybody for looking at my browser here. This is truly unprofessional. But anyway, we have a chart. We all like charts, right? That's cool. And so it looks like they're giving away titles.
You do know that if you click on it, it gets bigger, right?
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's not much bigger. There we go.
Click again. Yeah, if you make your window bigger. There you go.
There we go. Okay. So we have titles. Swashbuckler title, the Dauntless title for silver. We have bronze. Bronze, silver, gold, and purple. Which apparently purple is better than gold. Not platinum, purple. Clearly. But
it's like in game, the purple gear is better than the orange gear.
That's very true. It totally makes sense because that is clearly
epic.
Yeah, epic artifact level of PvP. We also have, and I'm going to close this. Hopefully, yeah, that button's closed it. Okay, this is the mount, the swashbuckling cutter mount that you get. What do you get that in? I was just looking at that. Is that the top level? Somebody help me out here.
All right.
No, it's gold. It's the gold level. Sorry, it's the gold level.
Yeah, you get it at gold.
So, what do you think of these?
One, I think the thing that we don't want to skip over that's really interesting that they're dabbling with before you guys give your impressions, but I did want to mention, at the lowest tier, you get a crystal. However, it does not apply for the solo. So it's an exclusive for team ranked at the lowest tier. Now, if your solo rank is above the lowest tier, then you will also get the crystal with everything else. But it looks like they're starting to dabble with rewards that are unique as opposed, solo as opposed to team, which is honestly, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I actually was talking about this before the show started. Alex Mondi, who's he's the combat designer, right? That's what he does, or at least he does PvP. So I assume he does the combat design as well. He wrote a post about how these tiers work, and I had to ask Red what that all meant because I didn't understand what he was talking about because it wasn't really clear to me. But it is really cool that they're differentiating, and they even differentiated a little bit in the other rewards as well. If you look at the chart, in fact, I'll pull it up again here real quick. You'll see that this is team. This column right here is team. This column right here is team. And there's just slightly different rewards. These are the same. These are different. So yeah. Oh, here we go. This is the crystal that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see the X.
Yeah,
there.
and there's actually 2 different color crystals. So just as a quick recap, you've got obviously you're going to get a title swashbuckler for bronze. Then you get a bronze picture, and then you can get a black silver striated color crystal if you're in the team. If you're at the next tier up, you do get all 3 of those things, but then you'll also get another color crystal. So it's black silver at bronze, but it's black blue at silver level. And then you also get the weapons set with the Dauntless title. It is also saying that you get all of the previous titles. So you will have the infamous, if you're in the gold, you get the infamous title and the Dauntless title and the swashbuckler title.
Right. And this chart really lays it out. And it's really, makes it perfectly simple. Basically you get purple, which is up here. I forgive my eyesight here. I can't really read it. It gives the ELO rating right here. And the top 3 characters for advanced class worldwide get the Dread, whatever the advanced class name is. So, the Dread Marauder.
I don't know why they haven't changed that yet.
Yeah?
They haven't changed the top 3 advanced classes to server base, because I don't know, like, what if you're on Shadowlands and you're like a really good shadow, but the rest of the population is not, they can't make your elo higher than, say, a shadow on the Harbinger or Pot 5. You'll never have a chance to be top 3 because it's not server based. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault that you're not playing against other people.
I think that, well, okay, so your elo is based off of your matches, right? It's gonna, it's weighted. So it's actually what it is unfair to. It's not necessarily unfair to people who are on low population servers. It's actually a low PvP population servers. It's unfair to those on high PvP population servers, I would think. It's more unfair.
No, it's every single person that comes in with a certain amount of elo that they contribute to the pool. The more people you have, the more elo there is to distribute, which allows somebody to get a much, much, much higher elo because they can be taking it from more and more and more and more people. So you get lower lows and higher highs in a larger populace.
Okay, is that how they've explained their elo work? Because I'm not sure how they've said their elo works. That's weird. Well,
as it stands right now, yeah.
Okay.
Because it also enables you to have more people with higher rating, which means then you can also rise further and further up and be, because there's supposed to be diminishing returns. If you're matched up against somebody really, really low, then you only get a little bit when you beat them. But if you've got a whole bunch of people with a higher elo and you're being matched up against them and you're beating them, then you can get higher and higher and higher. So.
Yeah, so surprise, a couple seasons later, that hasn't been, a lot of people have been talking about it everywhere in the SWTOR community. And
it really is ridiculous. My hope is that perhaps it's an indication that they do have some sort of solution that is going to enable us all to play against one another.
Wait,
Frankly, though,
you
they
mean
should still have it
better than
regionally,
cross server?
Yes,
Oh, God.
better than crossover.
Can we not? I'm sure, we're going to go to the Anaheim cantina and someone's going to be like, can you ask them what's better than crossover? It's like I asked them like 5 times in their faces.
Hey, Squeaky Wheel gets to grease with BioWare. I will ask every time I see them.
Okay, so that's everybody that's in the chat room, everybody that's watching this show. If you end up at the Anaheim cantina, your question that you have to ask them is, what is better than cross server? We have to know.
And then after you ask at the Q&A, you also have to ask each of them individually, whoever's present.
Make sure you get a couple drinks down them first, especially Bruce McLean.
Yes.
He's been known
Don't try Musco. He is too savvy, clever to be able to get anything out of it.
And I don't think he drinks. I don't think he drinks during these cantinas.
No, he stopped drinking. Drinks. No, he stopped drinking at the cantinas.
Yeah, at the cantinas. I mean, I don't think he does that. I'm not saying he's anyway. But anybody else? No, don't ask Charles Boyd. Oh my gosh, he clams up so fast. It's kind of funny.
Well, he writes the story, so he's just like, oh my god, spoilers.
Well, he won't tell you anything, but the interesting thing is he loves to tell you about the method and what they do and what their thoughts are and their approaches. Like, if you want to talk to him about his method and his craft, man, he's got a lot to say, and he's really interesting to talk to.
Oh yeah, no, he is actually. If you go to a cantina, talk to as many devs as you can. They at least the majority. If you can find Tate, then that's a gold mine actually, because he does talk quite a bit, but he also disappears really quickly, and it's almost like a game is find Tate. So anyway,
we played that game last time, and I was a little creepy about it.
He didn't try to slide away from me, but that might have been because I didn't.
You kept talking to him.
I didn't shut up long enough for him to have a gap to run.
Like, I stopped talking for like 5 seconds, and then he's just kind of, going away.
Yeah, that's kind of what he does. I was talking to him, and somebody else was there too, and he started doing this thing, looking around. I'm like, you can go, man. You don't have to stick around. But anyway, about the rewards themselves, about average, make you excited. One of the things I'm gonna mention this.
We'll put up that picture of the mount again.
Yeah, I'm going to say this, that I am. Although this is an original mount, like, we don't have a mount exactly like this. This isn't. I'm not really impressed with it. I'm not.
Really? It looks awesome.
Okay, so the problem is the sales.
I'm not even a mount person, and that looks really cool. Like, you're riding around fleet on your ship, and then you could even RP and like go over the places that have like 3 feet of water and just pretend that you're sailing.
Well, and the other thing is that sail, what's behind the sail? Because if there is a freaking old school wheel thing,
There is, yeah. You can kind of see it.
If I can stand behind that giant wheel and navigate my ship, then I'm totally...
There is a wheel, don't you see it?
Yeah, it's right here.
The spokes.
Oh, okay, you stand all the way in the back there?
Yeah, that's what, okay. Yeah, you stand
up.
So
does that mean that you... how do you see through the sail?
I don't... It's Star Wars. It's a two-way sail. You can see through it, but people can't see into. Yeah, see how that works?
Okay, it's like one-way glass.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
It's cool.
I don't know. I
genuinely, what I'm hoping is, well, they call it Baron Deathmark Swashbuckling Cutter Mount, so maybe it'll actually be unique. No, that's right. They called it Baron Deathmark's Ranker.
The other mounts that are going to come out later will have different colored flags.
Yeah, exactly. You have a Republic version and an Imperial version.
Just being real here.
Well,
they're not going to waste team effort on just one prize. They're going to try and use it as much as possible.
Here's the thing that really kind of other games would do something like that. They would. Just make one mount for one, a small number of people. They would do that. I think they would. Huh?
This game does it. There is still PvP content or PvE content that has unique mounts as drops.
Oh, like the
yeah.
Brontes?
Yeah, like the Brontes.
And there are no reskins or anything. Yeah, like Brontes.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's Brontes. There's the tank mount off of the 2 tanks in Explosive Conflict. There are several that they've never reskinned in any way, shape, or form. So
yeah,
I don't understand why they are so reticent.
Maybe because they look at the numbers and they figure more people will be able to get those mounts because the content is always around. But for a PvP season, that's only a limited amount of people and a limited amount of time. And so not everyone can get it. I mean, if I wanted to go get that Brontes mount, then yeah, I'd go grind for it every week or whatever until it dropped for me. But for a PvP season, I only have one chance to get it. And if I don't get it, then I don't get it. So by releasing it in cartel markets with different colors or, whatever they're doing, then it gives everyone a chance to get something that they designed, because you don't have an opportunity to get it again in PvP for that particular mount.
Then, I mean, what I had hoped that they would do with the rankers in the first place was not offer it anywhere else, and every season have a different skinned ranker. And then every season, so everybody's got a chance to go and get it this time. They never needed to leave the ranker theme at all for PvP. They could have always just kept changing that skin over and over and over again, and it would just be a unique experience for the PvPers.
But then the PvPers would be like, why am I always getting a ranker? I have 5 rankers. Give me that cool Brontes mount.
I really don't think they would.
I didn't personally think that the Rancor was a good idea to keep for PvP. I had honestly figured, as you did, Red, that that's what they would do. They'd continue to have Rancors of some sort for PvP rewards. And I'm like, oh man, that is really, really horrible, because that is only because it's super sought after by people in general to have a Rancor mount. But at the same time, though, I think this one falls really, really short in as far as the cool factor goes, especially next to the other ones that have already come out.
I mean, honestly, I think they took it straight from the community, at least the Twitter community. The Twitter community was all over, I want a pirate ship, I want a pirate ship, I want a pirate ship. So they made a pirate ship.
There you go. Twitter, it's your fault.
Yeah. But hey, I mean,
no, that's fine. Find that even though I have been finding that even though we think that they're not listening to us, sometimes things that we say or mention, it does end up being in the game, or they say something about it. So I think they are watching and listening to us. Maybe they just can't implement things as fast as they would like, or to the quality that they would like.
All I'm saying is I really hope that this has that new mount emote thing that they put a keybind in for. You know what I'm talking about? The flourish.
What? Oh yeah. Okay.
They've got some new mounts that are going to be coming in the future that you can actually, while you're riding around on it, you can flourish. So you can do something from the mount. Because right now you can't emote while you're mounted at all whatsoever. But apparently there are going to be mounts with unique, basically emotes, but they're calling them flourishes.
You know what would be nice? If you could wave from your mount. Because sometimes, you don't want to stop. By. You don't want to stop and wave to someone. You just want to wave and get away from them.
Or give the Luigi death stare. That would be really cool. Yeah. Luigi death stare as you drive by. Or have your Rancor wave. Or your sleeve.
That would be awesome.
Your Rancor wave. Well, what's really funny is in Star Wars Galaxies, you could actually, when you're riding your Rancor, you could have, or was it riding your? Yeah, you could have them do different emotes, and it was funny. You could have them pound on the ground. It was great.
They should have. It looks like this ship actually has little some kind of side-mounted cannons or guns or something. They should have those fired. Something like sparkle dust or something.
Sparkle dust.
Well, remember that one mount that just was dripping the credits or the coins at the ground?
Yeah. Oh gosh. It does look like it has guns. You're right. It's right there. It's like there's guns. All right. Well, still on the topic of PvP, I did want to talk about something that happened this week that was kind of interesting, and I know that we have Well, I know I personally have had altercations with this guy, and some other people have, but I gotta give him some credit for something that he did. Snave, who is, I guess, the self-proclaimed operations operative. That's it, operative representative. He does a lot of live streaming. He has quite a following. And one of the things that he did is one of the people that was in his group. I'm not going to name any names or anything, but because I don't want to call.
Why? We can just go watch the video.
Well, you can. Well, it's not public video. It's not a public video. So, at any rate, yeah. Anyway, there was somebody that was in his group that was basically what they're doing is in the Denova the Denova. What's the word I'm looking for? Battleground
in the war zone.
Yeah, Warzone.
Novar Coast.
Yeah, Novar Coast. What the other player was doing was capping while everybody was still waiting in like the penalty box before the match even started. The other player was
this used to be a problem on VoidStar where basically they'd figured out a way to jump out of the energy shielded area in order to go and grab objectives before the match had actually officially started. Exactly,
and that's what happened here. And what Snave did was kind of classy. He said, "Now this is ridiculous. I'm reporting you," even though this person was in his group, in TeamSpeak or Mumble, whatever he was in with him, and said, "I'm reporting you," and did it on the stream, reported, and also at the same time left the match and left the group that this person was in. And I give him props for that. I think that sets an example of what I think more people need to do. Is instead of, because I mean, and I'm sure you guys you guys will agree with me. If not, let me know. But cheating in PvP does not make things better. Discovering bugs and reporting them, which is probably the most important thing, really, that he did here. I'm not really, although it was really classy of him to leave the match and leave the group and not condone that kind of thing. Absolutely. I think the most important thing here is that he was reporting the bug itself. And did he spell the person's name wrong? It doesn't matter. There's a video of it, and he sent the video to Musco, so that's not that big a deal. The chat room was telling me that he spelled the person's name wrong, but at any rate, I think that. But the biggest thing here, though, is that he reported the bug, and it's really super important that things like that happen. And I mean, let me ask your guys' thoughts on this situation. First off, on the bug itself, which is really weird that this bug exists at all, and then second, I mean, how should we see more of this? I mean, what's your thoughts on it? Go ahead, Red. You're dying to talk.
I mean, this is something that we haven't had a problem. I mean, we've seen it before, plenty of times. VoidStar, over and over and over, there was the ability to get out of the starting zone and go and plant a bomb on the door before anybody could get out to defend. It took them a long time, and I think the final resolution was that if you were in the area before the doorways opened, you would just instantly die. So presumably they've just got to address this. I'm not surprised that this happened. I hadn't heard of it. It was neat to see it. It's good that as a streamer, he had an excellent opportunity to be able to highlight that, make a little YouTube video out of it and link it out, which is exactly what you should do if you're recording. It's great. I love to see, all streamers should be responsible like this, and even make a point of, open it up. Let everybody see that you're doing your part. As we've seen from BioWare in general, it just seems to me that it's the same thing with bugs for exploits on bosses or anything like that. If you come across something, if you've done something, if you discover something, any details or any information that you have, give it to BioWare. BioWare has seemed to make a big case and has asked over and over and over again that people continue to report. And I do completely understand that sometimes it feels like you're giving your information and it's just falling into a black hole. You're not being heard. That
shouting into the void.
Sees,
yeah.
Right. Yeah, that nobody sees what you're reporting or anything like this. But I mean, that shouldn't stop anybody from reporting, because frankly, I feel like a lot of times not all of BioWare's tracking capabilities are fully mature. I think the reason they keep asking us to report is because they actually really do use those, and they need us to continue to report them. And if we aren't, then their job is a lot harder, and it makes it harder on the community because they can't even address it.
And chat room actually asks an interesting question, and I don't. Trig PT asked, would he do it if he wasn't streaming? And I'll be honest, it doesn't matter to me if he would do it if he was streaming or not. I think that
that's just speculation and character assassination. It doesn't matter. Yeah. The fact that he had the gumption, I mean, he could have just ignored it or laughed at it and gone on with his stream.
Yeah, so
and he on his stream, which wasn't in the YouTube video that I saw or anything, apparently he had seen it done before, and had remarked that he didn't approve, and that this time, and he had reported it before. So it's neither here nor there. I think the encouraging thing
said he saw the
this is a
person
good
do
way
it
to do
before, and he didn't report the first time, and then he saw her do it again, and then he's like, "I told you I was going to report you next time I see you do it."
Yeah,
I thought he had said that he'd reported that this was the second time. He said, I'm reporting you again. I'm reporting you again. I thought, but either way, it doesn't matter. The one thing that I would say is when you do submit reports for exploits and things like this, do remember, put your character name, put their character name, the faction that they're on, the server they're on, like all the information that you can. And if you know how that exploit works, type that all up in the report as well. I mean, everything and anything that you know, put it in there. A lot of people just pull up a page and say, I saw this person with this name do this. And I've noticed even when I report things like I accidentally bought an object and it's bound to my character, can I get it, taken off and refunded or whatever? I will say, I was on my gunslinger. I only have one gunslinger on the server, and yet they don't seem to realize that I've reported it from the character or the server or all of this. Like they actually say, well, which character is, what is this, that, and the other? I'm like, well, I said it immediately when I did it. You don't have that information. Like, it seems like they don't always track that information. So they really do need to know all the details that you can possibly give them.
Yeah. Well, one of the things to keep in mind, I mean, anytime that there is one PvP match going on, let me say this, when you are in a PvP match, there are hundreds of other PvP matches going on at the same time. So it's a little bit more difficult to track down, and the more information that you can give the the intern who's reporting to Q&A, the more information that you can give him, I'm joking. I don't know.
When you say intern, it just makes me feel so bad for him, like some poor kid. It's just like, oh my god, I'm getting all these report messages. What do I
do? But at any rate, the more information you can give that person, the more they'll be able to track it. The better they'll be able to deal with the issue in the first place. And I mean, what they mentioned in the chat room that Snave spelled the character's name wrong, but the other thing that he didn't do as well, which I think everybody should be doing, and I don't fault Snave for doing it, mind you. I'm just saying that if you are going to do a report, if you know how it's done, if you can do like more information, like even the time that it was done, time is good, server, what Warzone, Battleground, whatever you're in, that any information that you can give, the more information you give, the better, is really what it boiled down to.
Yeah, and the other thing is too, when you see something like that, now granted, this was a reg match, so it's a little bit less impactful, because it's not going to be ruining anybody's elo or anything like that. But the other thing that's always a good idea is if you actually know how somebody's doing something like that, like go ahead and report the person for cheating, of course. But also, if you just type /bug and then detail exactly what happened and how they did it, those don't go to customer service. Those go directly to the devs. You won't get a response from anybody about that ticket, but it will get fed directly to the bugs, to the devs, that this is the bug and here's the details and how to recreate it, and then they can find a solution for it. Because it is this in particular was a case more. It was more than cheating. It was, exploiting a obvious bug, and help the devs.
Now, here's the other question, and this is total speculation, and I don't expect to hear. Well, this might be character assassination, but not on Snave. The question I asked though: are we now going to see a forum thread about this from Eric Musco saying exactly, hey,
why they've already established what their plan is with exploits. They said how they were going to punish people for exploits. They've had a first round of banning people for doing exploits. So, I mean, what is there to post about?
I don't know. I was thinking, are they going to do the same thing that they did with the PvE with the Ravagers exploit, the Cortana?
It's the same thing. An exploit is an exploit. Doesn't matter if it's PvE or PvP.
Oh, I understand that. I was just wondering. Oh, now that this is huge, this is a big public deal. Are they actually?
They wouldn't publicly make a post about that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if this had been put into the forums, it would not have been managed by Musco or anybody, because he was using names, and they don't want you to put names or that kind of information. This isn't. It's not supposed to be a public shaming. It's supposed to be,
Well, okay, so
identify and help deal with. I would assume perhaps a warning. That's really all I would expect, and it's fine. There should be a warning.
What I mean is now. Okay, this potentially, at least publicly, is as public of an exploit as I would say the Cortana exploit was, right? I mean, or at least it definitely has the potential to be. I don't necessarily know that everybody. The only difference I think
without the impact. There's no free loops that are coming from it. It's not even a guaranteed win, because Nowhere Coast is easy to come back from.
Yeah.
No matter if somebody gets out there and starts it early, it's this is nowhere near. And honestly, even though somebody that he put it out on Twitter and he's got his stream, I mean, that's still not in the general public consciousness near to the level that the Ravagers exploit became.
Well, I was going to say the difference being the Ravagers exploit was, I think, more people were participating.
Well, I also don't think we should ban people based on the severity of, how many people are using the exploit. What if it's just one person that's giving themselves a speed hack, or one person that's cheating and we know they're cheating?
Yeah.
Well, speed hacks are breaking the client. I don't know.
I was just using an example of something else that one person could be doing. I mean, they're not going to just give that person a warning.
Well, the chat room seems to think that they should just swing the ban hammer. So,
of course.
And I'm going back to what they said about the exploits. They made it clear what would happen to you if you used an exploit. So they should stick to their word.
All right. Well, we will be waiting with bated breath to see what.
Well,
happens.
I mean, we're not going to know. I mean, unless they tell us, "Hey, I got banned."
We don't know. Maybe this person will tell us, because
Well, the flip side is actually, and I did want to touch on it, was that there have been self-reporting instances of the fact that it looks like they may have actually cast their net a little bit wider than we might have anticipated for the warnings about cheating, griefing, win trading and whatnot, because there have been a few people that have stepped forward and said that they did get letters, but they've never done that or whatever. And granted, that's self-reporting and they might be trying to create a defense for themselves. But then again, it could easily be the case, and I kind of do like, I'm hoping that in fact there are people that were not win trading or griefing that did get warning letters, because that means they're trying to get everybody, and if they get a few extra, it's an accident, but those people can then talk to the customer service or whatever and get that resolved. But they can hopefully more accurately identify those people that are actually doing it, because I expected to see very, 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 very few letters. because they wanted to avoid any false positives at all whatsoever.
So you're saying, and this is my gist of this as well, is that what you're saying is that you think that it is better to cast a wider net, accidentally hit some people that weren't doing it, and then apologize to those people that were hit than to...
I disagree.
I'm not sure where I'm kind of on the fence, but
I think it's a more important message to say, hey, well, my friend got banned and I did the same thing as my friend. Maybe I should watch out, instead of, your innocent friend is like, oh my God, I didn't do anything. I was just in a group with them. Like, I would be really sad if that happened. So I don't think that they should be sending out, just a wider net.
I'm wondering in this situation if it maybe isn't easier to apologize than to be safe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's the saying, it's easier to apologize than to ask permission. Well, it's it's kind of the same situation here, possibly, because I mean, if you accidentally, the number of people that might accidentally be hit, I mean, I don't think that it's a huge amount of people, mind you. It might be, if it's just a handful of people, well, you can go to that handful. It's not like you're handing out bans, like permanent bans or anything. This is like warnings and those kinds of things. So if there are like 5 people that come back to customer service and say, hey... Oh,
I thought we were talking about bans.
No, warnings.
Yeah, if I just got a warning, whatever. But if I got a ban and I didn't do anything, that would be bad.
Yeah.
No, if I gotten a warning, like, because I know I've never done it. If I got a warning, my first response would be to like email back or contact someone and say, can you explain to me what it was I was doing that got me this warning? Because I'll avoid doing that. I have no idea what I did. Like, if you can explain it to me, what is the evidence that caused you to give me this warning? How did this come up? Because one, if I'm genuinely innocent, I can learn from it, or probably even identify where the error was in whatever algorithm they have for identifying this or whatever. I would assume, if I'm innocent, that I got picked up as a false positive, and just be like, okay, hey, listen, how, what were the flags that pointed to me? Because the other thing that you do need to worry about is they're calling for us to report trolls and cheaters and griefers and whatnot all day long, right? Well, there are always going to be those same trolls and cheaters and griefers can send in false positives and just say, me and my buddies are going to report this guy all day long. I'll get a group of people to report this guy, even though he's completely innocent. But because there's, half a dozen people that all report him, they might take that as an indication. So, you need to kind of prepare for the worst behavior coming from every single direction.
I know, but yeah, half a dozen can go report someone for something because they don't like them. But that doesn't mean that person did anything.
Well,
exactly.
There's always going to be a correlation of something funky happening and reports. Both are going to be there. This is the thing I don't know how they do this, and and I think that this statement that's being said in chat right now by Darth Brundlefly, he says, "Crikey, the intern can't keep up with the people who do cheat, let alone sort out and apologize for false positives." But I don't know. I think that there is some sort of correlation. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I do know they have said, when fixing bugs, this isn't with exploits. So, but I'm assuming that a similar process, if you will, takes place. So you're going to have reports, and at the same time, you're going to have some sort of funky thing happening in the code too. So you're going to have both the reports and the code at the same time. So there's going to be some sort of correlation. And I don't think that they would. So people that do something because, oh, well, I don't like that guy, so I'm going to report him for whatever reason. Even if it is a large group of people, I don't think, unless there is a correlating bug to go along with it, that they will that they will do anything about it. And I think that's really where this lies.
Yeah, but this isn't about bugs. This is about griefing and win trading.
Well, but even so, there's evidence of when. I mean, I say physical, but you know what I mean. There's physical evidence of when somebody is griefing, or physical evidence when there's win trading happening. So
right, but there's also you've got 3 guys that are on your team, and they get queued with you, and you're just terrible at PvP. And they'd never want to see you in PvP again. So every time they match up with you, they report you for throwing the match, because you lose every match because you're just bad.
Yeah, but
that's not because you're griefing or win trading. It's just because you're bad. And, the worst should be able to play in order to let their elo, plummet. Bad players need to play in order to increase the elo pool so that good players can get higher elo so they can get that 96 unique thing that doesn't have cross server.
I think that there
and I know that a lot of the PvPers are going to hate me because they say, no, I don't want bad players in my matches. Don't let the bad players play. Don't let the people without gear play. Don't let them in. Don't let them in. Don't let them in.
No. But then they're like, oh my god, this person is winning. You need to nerf this class. Oh my god, they're cheating. Right?
Well, as they said in the chat room, PvPers, if they've got nothing else to complain about, they'll complain that the sky is blue.
All right, so I don't know. Really, I think that this is this debate could go on forever. Actually, if we wanted it to, but bottom line, if you see something weird happening in PvP, report it.
Or anywhere in the game.
Yeah, or anywhere in the game. Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, don't cheat, because in the end, it really makes things worse for everybody. There are rules to the game. I do now. Here's the other thing that I do still wish that they would do is, now obviously this one that we're talking about now is clear. This is cheating. This is an exploit. But I really wish that they would talk more about, a little bit more specific about exploits, and not necessarily exactly how certain exploits are done, but more along the lines of, hey, we know this is happening in this general area. If you're doing this sort of thing in this general area, I suggest you stop. That way, we as players are absolutely certain of what we're doing is an exploit. Because there's certain things in the game that are just, let's be real, they're just creative use of mechanics. Even if it is...
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, they built an entire system in the game that takes advantage of these funky little environmental things. It's called datacron hunting.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
exactly.
But this is another, it's like beating the dead horse. Yes, we want them to tell us more and be more open with us about bugs and exploits, and just tell us, just communicate with us. But they've got their black hole, they want to throw it down. So at least until it's fixed, and then they'll talk about it all day long.
All right, well, the last thing on our list to talk about, before we sign off, we do want to talk about the community live stream. This is a replacement because they weren't able to be at PAX East. We talked about this in the go to the other episodes. We just uploaded them this morning. We talked about this Cantina and them canceling it. Actually, I think it was on the last episode, and but at any rate, they didn't do PAX East, and they're making up for it by doing a live stream tomorrow at 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Central Time. So East Coasters, that's 4 to 5, and West Coasters, it's 1 to 2. So if you're in Europe or in Australia, I'm sorry, I cannot do the math for that one because of daylight savings time and whatnot. But at any rate, that'll be on their Twitch channel at twitch.tv/SWTOR. But the cool thing is we are going to see Bruce McLean, who is the producer, and Michael Backus, who is who? Do we know who Michael Backus is? We're assuming he's a writer, maybe?
I guess. All we know is that they're going to be discussing something to do with 3.2 and the Zyos story.
Yeah,
Without-
we could just Google
without
him.
spoilers?
Why don't we Google him and see who he is?
Oh, there we go. While you're doing that, yeah, this is a funny.
He might have a LinkedIn or a Twitter.
But he does say, this one thing that it says here is that we're going to be talking about story, which
Michael Backus, lead designer at BioWare.
Lead designer.
He's a secondhand connection with me on LinkedIn.
All right.
Okay, so lead designer, guys.
Lead designer. Okay, lead designer. And they're going this is really funny. They're going to talk about story coming to Zyos and what is coming in 3.2 with no spoilers. What?
Yeah, how do you tell story without spoiling story? That's a little odd, but I'm so excited about this.
They're going to say, you're going to be on Zyos, and there's going to be 2 flashpoints, and there's going to be this, and there's going to be that, but we're not going to tell you how you get there.
It's spoilers!
I think that telling us that there's a flashpoint is not a spoiler.
It's
I
totally
think a spoiler is a
Apparently it is. That's why they
stories.
couldn't tell us anything about Revan.
Yeah, it's totally a spoiler.
Well, I think they got the
couldn't tell us that
communication
there was
on
a
that
planet.
wrong.
They couldn't tell us that there was a level increase. They couldn't tell us that there were flashpoints. Those are spoilers.
Well, I think they got that wrong. I think they could have told us that there was 2 flashpoints and whatever came out. But I think a spoiler is the story. So hey BioWare.
But that's the thing, though. I would rather. It's really funny for me. I would rather the story be spoiled a little bit than how many flashpoints there are or that kind of thing.
Hey, why not tease it the way that episode 7 has? Give us
So they're gonna show a crosshair lightsaber, and then we'll all just freak out. That's gonna be in the game,
right along with my smuggler ship flying through the scene, and then
I'm down with
a
that.
shot of Satil Shan and her son, and then everybody can be like, "Oh my God, there's people we've seen before in this."
It'd be great. I'm down with that. I'm cool. Make that
I'm just
happen.
really excited by this. They're actually going to do it. I've been waiting for it. I wish they would have done it during BioWare East PAX East. Although it may be best that they've waited because there was a lot of Blizzard information, a lot of big gaming news that came out of PAX East. Maybe it's better that they waited a few weeks, let that dust settle, and now they can put something out there, and hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah. No, I crossguard. Yes.
But what else I'm kind of interested in seeing is I know that they're having the SWTOR Cantina in Anaheim, and there's this big old announcement about Star Wars Battlefront, but no one's talking about Star Wars: The Old Republic. Like, do we not exist in the Star Wars universe?
We are going to be having the 501st there.
Yeah.
At the Cantina. We are going to be having. I mean, I think they're doing a good job of bringing some good attention in. This may, other than being actually at the venue, they are doing better about marketing and publicizing this one than they have others.
Well, to be fair, though, one of their former employees, bless you, one of their former employees, Brian Arndt, he's not working at ZeniMax, but I'm sure they still talk and whatnot. He is part of the 501st, so I'm sure they definitely have connections. And on top of that, hey, they're Star Wars. Of course, they have connections with the 501st. So it'll be interesting to see what they bring forth at Anaheim, especially with all the other Star Wars news that's coming in Anaheim, which we can talk about after the show. Yeah, what are we expecting from? Let's talk about the live stream tomorrow. Any expectations? Do you want to see?
No.
No.
The key is not to have any expectations, and then you'll never get disappointed. I don't know why people expect so much all the time.
I don't know. I
expect them to tell me that Zyos is a new planet that we'll be able to play on.
Okay, here we go. Do you think that Zyos is going to be Manon kind of planet, or do you think it's going to be an Oricon kind of planet, or do we think it's going to be...
Manon only had the flashpoint, so I would expect if they're going to tell us all this stuff about a new planet that it's not for one flashpoint.
I think a better example would be, is this going to be CZ198 or Oricon?
What do you think? CZ198 or Oricon? You're not expecting anything, right? You just did nothing.
I don't know. I mean, they have confirmed now that this is one of the big story updates, right? The 2 updates that were coming this year. So
Oricon was an update.
Yeah, I mean, I would Oricon had. I would expect it to be Oricon type scale. Honestly, that's what I would expect. It's going to be a story that drives through, gets some dailies in it, and then it'll end with a flashpoint rather than an operation. Mm-hmm. The scale of Oricon, but the end of a flashpoint rather than a operation.
So, but Zyos isn't going to be. We're not going to see like the end of the story, though, right? We're not like we did on Oricon. Okay. You don't expect that.
No. This is not going to be the end of the. No. That's why it would be a flashpoint. This is going to be a waypoint, a stepping stone towards. Presumably, I guess we don't need to give the spoiler, but this should be the first step in the hunt for the new big bad. So probably there's good reason to be going to Ziost and searching for information or relics or archives or something, and that's what you're going there to go and do, and then it's going to move on to something else. That's my guess on the story stuff, and that's all I got. I mean, that doesn't really say much of anything, but it makes total sense based off of where we're at right now.
All right, I'm done with that. And anything else? Did we miss anything? I think that was about it. So if let me yeah, I guess so. All right, we're good. All right, excellent.
Rishi will be fixed if you get there and there's no ground and there's water under you. Just keep on driving. You'll make it safe.
Yeah, there is a.
Yeah, I thought I accidentally walked off, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die from fall damage," and then I just didn't.
Yeah, you
just keep going.
Yeah, you do keep going. Thank goodness, because. Oh yeah, it does. It freaks you out, and
it's really disorienting when you come in, and it's like you actually come in, and underneath where the floor should be is a like stone wall or whatever, and you're standing on it. But then you're like, well, crap, where do I go? Because I don't want to fall off this thing.
All right, well, so for more of Heather, you can find her on Twitter at Heather_PLS, or you can go to PrettyLittleSith.com or CorellianRun.com. She is on both of those. And
Corellian Run Radio, woo!
Yes, she's on Corellian Run Radio.
Yeah, our latest show was really good. We had Snicker in it. And our next show, which is going to be recorded live on Sunday, March 29th. Sunday, March 29th. Yep. I can't tell you, well, I mean, I guess I could, but I'm not going to tell you who's going to be on that show, but it's going to be super awesome.
George Lucas?
No, not that awesome.
Not that awesome.
Not that awesome.
All right,
Corellian Radio.
You do it live on Twitch, right? So it's twitch.tv/CorellianRun, right?
Corellian Run Radio.
Corellian Run Radio.
How many times can I say Corellian Run Radio?
I thought, well, that's the name of your podcast. So I wasn't.
Yeah.
All right, so twitch.tv/Corellian Run Radio. Go there Sunday at what time again?
2 p.m. Pacific.
2 p.m. Pacific. All right, and also for Redna, he's going to probably be streaming after this show's over. Yep. At twitch.tv/R3DN4. You can also catch him on Twitter at the same address, R3DN4. And you have over 1,000 followers now on Twitch.
Me?
Yeah, right?
Oh, no. I almost do. When I hit 1,000, I'm going to be doing a Hypercrate giveaway.
There you go. So send him over the edge. Give him 1,000 followers. And
yeah, twitch.tv/R3DN4.
Yes. And you can also catch more of me on Gamebreaker TV. I'm here every single day reporting for Gamebreaker TV. Also every Thursday at 6:30 PST. Well, approximately. We started a little bit late today, but anyway, come at 6:30 PST to Gamebreaker TV/live to catch the Republic. And if you want to see more of what I do, I'm also on hyperspacebeacon.com, also on massivelyop.com. I write the Hyperspace Beacon and the Tamriel Infinium. And you can go to Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Shadow, SHADDOE. I talk about random stuff there, but mostly Star Wars. So thanks a lot for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
Huzzah.
Bye.